Hello and welcome back to Numismatics with Kenny. This video features the coins that I purchased at Hallenbeck Coin Gallery for just a little bit over spot. If you've seen my previous video of Flipped edition of Hallenbeck Coin Gallery, you would know that Hallenbeck Coin Gallery is a very nice coin store only a few blocks away from the A&A. So when I was there for the 2016 summer seminar, I stopped by multiple times each week. First, we have an 1850A French 5 francs. Next, we have a 1964 Switzerland half franc. None of these coins were purchased exactly for their melt spot, for their melt value, except for one of them. And I'll point that out to you. These were all purchased a little bit over. Here's an 1897 Great Britain 1 shilling. I thought this was pretty neat. Here's a 1966 Australian 50-cent piece. Here's a 1914 Great Britain 3 pence. Next we have a 1933 Great Britain half crown. Next we have a 1948 Mexican 1 peso. Next we have excuse me, a 1947 Mexican 1 peso of the same design as the 48. Next we have a 1950 Mexican 50 centavos. Here, I thought this piece was very neat. A 1995 Romania 100 lei. That's a very neat piece. Here's a 1972 D German 10 mark. Celebrating the 72 Olympics. Here we have a 2000 Liberian $10 proof piece with Gettysburg, with General Robert E. Lee and George G. Meade. This is the coin I told you I purchased for just spot. Very well worn, 1884 Great Britain shilling. Very, very worn. Not a very good coin at all. But it was just so old and you could still see the date. I couldn't pass it up. Here's a very nice 1934 New Zealand 1 florin. Here's a 1966 Bahamas $1. Here's a 1916 Switzerland 2 francs. Here's an 1895 Austrian 1 Corona. It's a very nice detail under the toning. Here's a 1942 South African shilling. I don't really know why I purchased this one in this condition. I think it was just because I had never seen this design before. So I didn't want to pass it up. It wasn't much though. Here's a 1948 Sweden 1 Corona. Here's a very nice 1875 Sweden 1 Krona. Just an older version of the coin I showed you. And here's a 1942 S Netherlands East Indies 1/10 golden. This was actually also minted at the San Francisco Mint, as you can tell because there's the S mint mark right above the 2. Here's a 1928 Canada 25-cent piece. Here is, I haven't identified this coin yet. It's one of the Middle Eastern countries. If you know, please, in the comment section below, please tell me what it is. Because I'm having some difficulty identifying that. Here's a 1916 French 50 centime. Here's a 1902 Spain 1 peseta. Nicer detail on the reverse. Here's an 1885 Spanish 1 peseta. Not the prettiest, but definitely not worthless. Here's a 1920 Great Britain half crown. Here's a 1974 D Germany 5 mark. I can't tell, but this one may have been a proof at one time, the way the reflectivity is under that luster. I'll have to look deeper into that. Here's a 1942 S Fiji shilling. This was also minted at the U.S. San Francisco Mint by the S Mint mark over Fiji. Here's a 1908 Great Britain 3 pence. Here's a kind of gross 1929 Canada 50-cent piece. I got it just because you could actually still see 50 cents Canada and 1929 on it, when normally this section is worn away. Here's a very neat 1931 Australian florin, or 2 shillings. I love getting these older Australian pieces. They're always so neat. Here's a 1927 Canada 25-cent piece. Very, very nice detail, but sadly, I think it's a scratch on the obverse. I have to look at it closer. But scratch or not, it's a very nice detailed coin, and it would be very rare if it's not a scratch. Here's a 1912 Canadian 5-cent piece. Here's a 1923 round top 3 Peru half sol. Looks like the round top 3 to me, at least. This one might have had a cleaning in the past, I see now. Still a very neat coin anyway. Here's a 1934 Belgian 20 francs. And this is Des Belges, or Belges variety. Here's a 1967 Canadian 10-cent piece. Nothing too special about this one. I just thought it was pretty reflective on the obverse, so I thought it was, save it from the scrap bin. Here's a 1920 Great Britain 3 pence. And lastly, we have 2 very, very small state coins. This one is West Virginia, the mountain state. Then on the other side, it's West Virginia, and then I guess the state flower, the rhododendron. And then this one over here is Delaware, the first state. And then I guess the state flower is a peach blossom. Well, thank you for viewing my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and share my videos on any social media outlet you belong to. Also, if you didn't catch part 1 of Hallenbeck Coin Gallery video, please view it later. Thank you. Goodbye.